stress tolerance is the ability to endure pressure, ambiguity, or adversity without becoming overwhelmed, hopeless, or hostile. It's not about avoiding stress, but expanding your psychological capacity to remain composed, make clear decisions, and function effectively under high demand situations. Resilience, the ability to bounce back quickly from setbacks rather than dwelling on them. Adaptability, thriving or remaining productive despite sudden changes or fluctuating emotional environments. The ability to find inner calm and self regulate when faced with difficulties. I feel like that would make a better C for my archery flyers. Composure. It kind of like gives you the idea of control while also giving you this other idea of like, because I said character. And it's kind of like, you need to elaborate on that. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean by character? Like, holistic. But like, A, athletic. Composure. Exactly. Put that in there. Composure. Well, I just walked right over that. Wow. But I feel like this archery is pretty key to this, you know? There's an A, R, and a C right there. The ability to bounce back quickly from setback. Oh, you missed the target? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? You have another arrow. You can go get more arrows. It doesn't fucking. I would say eventually the tolerance level would decrease. Watching them being played is hard enough. Hands down, horror. Yes. The window of tolerance. The concept of the window of tolerance describes the optimal zone of arousal where emotions can be effectively regulated. When stress exceeds your tolerance, you typically react in one of two ways. One, intense anxiety, panic, anger, or feeling constantly on edge. Hypoarousal, feeling numb, frozen, depressed, disconnected, or simply shutting down. Oh boy. It's starting to hit close to home. Ugh. Just like training a muscle, your brain's tolerance for stress can be strengthened over time through targeted habits and neuroplasticity. If you're feeling overwhelmed, utilize grounding techniques like the 3-3-3 rule. Identify 3 objects and 3 sounds in your environment and move 3 body parts to quickly shift your focus away from anxiety. Okay, identify 3 objects. My hand. Identify 3 sounds in your. Okay, so my hand, my elbow, and my arm. Doing this. Alright? I don't know. It's something, right? And then 3 sounds in your environment. There's me talking, there's my snapping, and then there's my tongue clicking. All right, it's just I can. There's 3 sounds, you know. I guess those are 3 different sounds too. Or I guess I didn't. Okay, so 3 grounding. So like I can ground myself on my body, but like here's the rock that I found. Here's that cup, and then inside the cup is the egg. This it's kind of like well, the purple fucking thing isn't helping, but you get it. Yours. So 3 objects because it's like I've also sort of like something tactile, feel stuff around you. That's I've also seen like it's another thing for grounding, um, where you're just trying to change your tactile. Like that's a sound where you're rubbing your fingers together and you're also like giving your sound a different your ears a different sound. You can tap your glasses like your glasses are an object, but they are also a sound when you tap at your hair. It makes a sound when you go through it. So like that would be exactly just a sense of just getting a sense of feeling because your brain you're feeling your senses are being overwhelmed and you have a panic attack. So it's like grounding is just how do I bring myself back to and like you can even shut your eyes too because like if things are really feeling overwhelming then just your visuals are overwhelming. So just by closing your eyes, you've cut off one of your senses. So you can sort of like deprivate, stick fingers in your ears, and you'd sort of like, okay, now the sounds outside aren't distracting me anymore. Something soft or rough, right? Like I got my desk, I got the thing next to it, mouse pad, phone, tapping the phone. Well, I already feel better. That's crazy. Just like that. Like I already feel kind of calmer. Just by like, this is my environment. Just being aware of my surroundings. Regular daily practices can help calm the nervous system and build awareness of how your body communicates stress. Physical conditioning. Exercise is one of the most effective ways to lower stress hormones and naturally boost resilience. There you go. I feel like if you want to like talk about the benefits of exercise, that should be the first thing you talk about. Like, are you stressed out? Do some fucking push-ups. Cognitive retraining. Try to view stressful events as learning opportunities rather than threats. For structured support, you can utilize platforms like BetterHelp to connect with professionals who specialize in resilience and coping mechanisms. If stress is causing you severe anxiety or impacting your daily functioning, consider reaching out to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration for authoritative support and resources. That's what that is. The window of tolerance. I never learned about that before. That when you're stressed out, you either panic or you freeze. Like fight or flight, but with stress. I never really thought about that. Oh, there's even a helpful little thing. Optimal arousal zone, threshold, feeling too little, feeling too much. The window of tolerance. There's a YouTube video. Our brains have a threshold for how much distress or arousal we can tolerate. Because outside our window of tolerance can lead to disassociation, a literal disconnect or detachment from our conscious awareness. Disassociation is a spectrum of disconnection that occurs when distress overwhelms our coping abilities. And I feel like technology makes it a lot easier for you to do that. Just start scrolling on YouTube. If you're feeling too much or too little. At the edge, hint, shutting down or detaching, hint, on the edge, the opposite of calm. So what do you need? You need soothing skills, you need grounding in the present moment, and then when you're feeling too little, you need gentle stimulation and orientation to time and place. Like, I understand that this moment isn't forever. I will get back to teaching archery one day. That day might not be today, but it'll happen. Either it's at the Renaissance Fair or it's on my own, but it'll happen. I have to remind myself of that. Or when I am feeling too much, it's like ground yourself. Come back to base. Increasing your window of tolerance. Narrow window of tolerance, you have a limited capacity to handle stress. A wide window of tolerance, you are resilient and resourceful under stress. It's important to emphasize we do not get to choose how wide the window of tolerance we're born with is. Different people are born with different brains and different capacities. Equally, we know that adverse events in early childhood and throughout our lives can shape our brains and can in turn affect our window of tolerance. Our attachment styles and early emotional learning also influence how our brains and window of tolerance develops. However, although mainly the negative experiences that happen to us, especially the adverse experiences we experience in early childhood, are not our fault. It is our responsibility to learn how we can help best ourselves, because the wider we can expand our window of tolerance, the more resilient we can learn to become in the face of life's challenges. If you would like to increase your window of tolerance, it is first helpful to become aware of the cues or the signals that you're becoming either hyper or hypo-aroused. And although everyone is different, it's common for people to report that when they're becoming hyper-aroused, they find it increasingly difficult to stay calm. You could use this as a signal that you're coming close to the upper edge of your window of tolerance, is that you need to intervene. Another way to think about tailoring your approach to your needs comes from what we know about stress. Take a look at the image of the Yerkes-Dodson law depicted in the diagram below. The quality of your performance is on the y-axis, and the x-axis is stress or arousal. So, when you're just inactive or bored, you don't have a high performance and you're not stressed out. But when there's a peak performance somewhere, a flow state, excessive demand and stress, burnout and breakdown, you're overwhelmed, threat, anxiety, panic. When we are low in stress, we are going to find it difficult to stay present and perform in ways that are optimal. When we're high in stress, we're going to find it difficult to perform at our best. What we need is just the right amount of stress. In other words, you need to know where you are at, where you need to be, and what you need to do to get yourself there. Although different people prefer different approaches, we know that in general, calming imagery and soothing skills, such as soothing breathing, creating a calm space, and other calming imagery, and grounding techniques, such as tuning into your five senses, mindful noticing, are generally what is required to bring a person out of hyperarousal back into the optimal zone. On the other hand, A commonly reported signal that you may be entering a hypoarousal is that you may be feeling like withdrawing or you are shutting down. If this is the case, use this as a signal that you are coming close to the edge of your window of tolerance and are moving toward the state of hypoarousal. This is a signal that you need to intervene. Grounding skills can be important. Grounding skills can be important use when outside of your window of tolerance. Different strokes for different folks applies here, though, because while some people connecting with others can be a useful way to counter their desire for withdrawal, for other people, those with significant interpersonal traumas, connecting with other people when distressed may be hugely challenging because other people may be emotionally unavailable or unsupportive in the past, or may be perceived as adversive or threatening, which could increase distress. So you just avoid people. In more extreme cases of hypoarousal, simple, gentle, but stimulating activities with a focus on grounding your experience in the present moments, i.e., techniques to help orient you to time and place, may be required. Regardless, it is helpful to plan ahead and to have multiple options for how you'd like to be able to respond and to have practice using them should such a situation arise. Hello, Ace. How's it going? You've caught us in the midst of learning. Yes, how are you now? I hope that you're doing well. Ooh, ooh. We even have examples. Because we all respond differently to soothing strategies, it's important to build a personal toolkit of activities that work for you. Practicing them regularly makes them more effective when you need them most. All right, y'all. We have breathing and mindfulness, deep belly breathing, mindful breathing, and being mindful in nature. Why does it help? Because it relaxes your vagus nerves, calms the system, and connects you to the present moment. Expressive writing, journaling, drawing, structured speed writing, like Pennebaker's infamous expressive writing method. I've never heard of that method. Tell me about that method. Developed by psychologist Dr. James Pennebaker. It's a journaling technique where you write consciously about your deepest thoughts and feelings regarding a traumatic or stressful event for 15 to 20 minutes a day over 3 to 4 consecutive days. The goal is to deeply process emotions and reduce stress. Interesting. It externalizes your thoughts, supports emotional processing and validation. A said, I just woke up 5 minutes ago, so I'm not sure yet. Well, good morning to you. Good morning. Welcome to the podcast, Ace. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if you can hear my dogs out there or not. I'm not scrolled over my microphone to see if the green bar pops up. Gentle movement, yin or restorative yoga, light stretching, rocking on a hammock activates the parasympathetic response, calming your body and mind through slow motion. Y'all ever heard of Tai Chi? Tai Rhythmic and physical release, stomping, shaking, throwing balls or rocks, bouncing on a trampoline. Releases excess energy, rhythm helps regulate and soothe the system. You can literally go down in the creek and start throwing rocks. And that's cathartic. So Ace it, you can go running, you can start throwing rocks, whatever. I guess for me that would be archery, a rhythmic physical release, just a continual over and over again. Or I guess just swinging my sword at my thing, but I broke it this morning, so I gotta make another. I have to make another net for my ball. But anyway, temperature-based regulation, warm showers, cold immersion done safely. It shifts your state quickly via sensory contrast, influencing autonomic tone. My bad. Comfort and containment, a weighted blanket, cozy space, soft lighting, de-stimulating sounds. Promotes felt safety, supports emotional containment and grounding. Pressure and tactile input. Rolling on a foam roller, yoga ball, or deep pressure touch. Relieves muscle tension and brings awareness to the body. Comforting food or drink, soothing textures and warmth, support regulation and present moment focus. Clair de Lune, soothing music, chanting. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me when you hold me in your arms so tight. You let me know Everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling. Da, 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 da. I'm high on believing da, 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 that you're in love with me. Kisses sweet. Ah, shit. That one's on me. Okay. You don't have to wait until you're overwhelmed to use these strategies. The more you practice them when you're calm, you playlists like that? That's good. The more you practice them when you're calm, the more accessible and effective they'll be when you really need them. We often need to be reasonably and well regulated to even begin using these tools. It helps to plan ahead and identify by experimenting what works for you in advance, not in the middle of a crisis. Think of it as preparing a toolkit for your future self. If you experience intense swings between hyperarousal and hypoarousal, or if you struggle to make notice early signs of distress, this is not your fault. These are powerful protective responses shaped by past experiences. The good news is that regulation skills can be learned. Even taking the time to reflect on what you might need is a meaningful first step. Each time you pause to notice, plan, or practice, you're already starting to shift how your nervous system responds, building capacity bit by bit. Self-care strategies can be powerful, but they may not be enough on their own. If that's the case, working with a trauma-informed psychologist can help you build deeper regulation skills and safely process what your nervous system is carrying. Oh, So, when you're too aroused, we talked about what you're supposed to do. Journaling, deep breathing, yoga, comforting food, soothing music, chanting. That's when you're feeling overwhelmed. Calming yourself down. I always thought that Ooga Chaka, Ooga 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 Chaka would be a good song to listen to when you were feeling down, but apparently it's good to sing when you're feeling overwhelmed or upset or what was the word? Hyper aroused. Hypoarousal can leave you feeling flat, foggy, or disconnected. To shift out of this state, the goal is to gently stimulate your body and mind in ways that increase alertness and reconnect you with the present moment. Because every nervous system is different, it helps to build your own personal toolkit. Actions you enjoy and that genuinely help. Practicing them regularly makes them easier to access when needed. Essentially, anything that stimulates your prefrontal cortex and brings you safely into the present moment is what we are looking for here. In other words, any activity that involves a helpful stimulation of your body or mind or that grounds you in the present moment safely is likely to be useful. Below are some self-care strategies to help you increase your arousal and engagement in the present moment. Sensory stimulation, essential oils, holding ice, crunchy foods, blowing through a straw. What? It quickly engages the sensory brain and helps anchor you in the present. Blowing through a straw? Could it be the opposite? Could sucking through something help? Like a smoothie. Don't take that out of context, people. That's not what you think it means. That is strange. Holding ice, I guess, because it's like it gives you something to feel. I guess it's like a mild form of self-pain. But is that healthy? I mean, yeah, if it hurts, fucking get rid of it, you know? Movement and physical play. Dancing, jumping, crawling, walking backward. It raises arousal and demands attention in the moment. Walking backward? Interesting. So if you want to go like, oh, I'm feeling depressed, I'll go on a walk. Backwards? I guess it's different. Huh. Body awareness. Body scan, progressive muscle tension. It reconnects your mind and body and it builds interoceptive awareness. Makes you focus on not falling. Rubber band on the wrist. I guess that would be another way of. It's just that's pain though. It keeps your mind more active and focused on something else. Right. Instead of being like all in your head about, oh, my life sucks, I hate everything, and you can be all like, you know, oh, I have to worry about not falling on my ass. Like sometimes I like walking with Jethro and closing my eyes and pretending I'm blind, because to give myself an idea of what being blind is like, you know, and he'll pull me for a bit. Because I'm like, oh, my life sucks, and it's like, well, imagine if you were blind. Think about how much more worse your life would be. Body scan, progressive attention. I already read that one. Creative expression, finger painting, drawing, playing an instrument. Tactile and emotionally engaging, it promotes the flow state. I haven't played my piano in a while. I ought to play it. Okay, stimulating sounds, listening to or singing to upbeat music or emotionally charged music. It activates emotional processing areas of the brain. I mean, don't pull it back like you're firing paper bullets off. Lol, that's crazy. Little snaps. Fair enough. I guess it's just a. You just scratch yourself. You know. It's not really like painful. You know. Crunchy foods blowing through a stomach. Crunchy foods. Senses, I guess. You know. Go eat some crackers. Go eat some pretzels. It'll make you feel better. Blowing through a straw. Should I just start keeping a straw next to me and blowing through it? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Get a didgeridoo or something. Oh no. Oh no. Chili cheese Fritos? Yeah. Hi, Storm. I'm worried now. You want me to do 5 of something and there's just a